Hello, and welcome to the channel. I'm Lexicon, and today I want to talk about Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley is a farm and social sim game released in February of 2016. Its creator, Eric Barone or Concerned Ape, took heavy inspiration from series like Harvest Moon, now Story of Seasons, not that Harvest Moon, when making his game. And it's not much of a surprise either. Both the old Harvest Moon games and Stardew Valley share many core features, such as farming mechanics, building friendship with townies, festivals, building a family if that's what you desire, etc. What sets Stardew apart, even more than the signature art style, are the dungeon-like mines, level of customization, crafting, theme of the central story, and many other small details. What I'm going to focus on today, though, is the relationships you can build with townies, which is the titular problem of today's video. To be completely clear, I do not fault this game nor its creator for the issue I take with it. Barone is an amazing person and creator, and he's done so much work all by himself to make something enjoyed by people around the world. Like, I wish I could measure up to that. No, the problem I had with the game in the beginning was likely due to my previous experiences with games in the genre. Specifically, when I started Stardew Valley on my Switch, I was coming off Rune Factory 4 for the 3DS. If any of you have played RF4, you'll likely know where this is going. Rune Factory 4 had stellar character design and development. It seemed like the townies never ran out of new things to say. There are still town events I haven't seen after playing it for years, and the town of Selphia was immersive to the point that I started feeling real empathy for these little anime characters. It was superb writing, a few small issues aside, and tons of it at that. Going into Stardew, which I quickly learned was based more around farming and dungeoning than really anything else, I was sort of disappointed. Again, I do not fault Stardew's creator for this. His strength was clearly elsewhere, and one man can only write so much dialogue anyway. I'm well aware I'm comparing a single dev indie project to a game produced by a large studio. I just find myself thinking that, if more content had been added to the characters through all those free updates, it would have been one more thing to be appreciated by its fans. For one, I think all the Stardew dialogue could at least have doubled over the years it spent in development after its release. Festival dialogue could definitely use a refresher as a main point. After several in-game years, it gets tiring to go see the exact same festival and see people say the exact same things. RF4 kept me intrigued long after I finished the main story, because I loved seeing what new weird, wacky situations the characters could get into. And Stardew has, well, none of that. There's Marnie and Lewis, and building Pam's house, and bringing Leo to town. But these events are all fairly surface level. In my opinion, they imply depth by touching on grittier, more mature topics than other farm sims, but don't actually deliver. You get a taste of a story, but never really the whole thing. So first on my list is more dialogue. Second would be more town events. Like I mentioned, Stardew does have some town events, but they feel static and very short, with little to no interaction from the player beyond a multiple choice question. This is more reminiscent of Harvest Moon or Story of Seasons' way of doing events, but they still seemed broader in scope. You had moments that were just for fun, not necessarily to progress your relationship with a certain character or the story. Either way, when my loading screen took a bit longer than normal to set up an event, I would get excited to see what was coming next. For Stardew, not really. Maybe I'm biased, but either way, the game couldn't be hurt by more random events and different types of them too. Even if it was just more small things, like finding Marnie and Lewis hiding in a bush. So much of Stardew Valley's lore has to be assumed or theorized on, when it could easily be an event sequence. There's so much gone to waste here. Third would be better families. To be clear, if I had known Krobus as a best friend monster roommate was an option at the time, I would have gone for him 1000%, instead of getting married to Sebastian just, because he looked the coolest to me. But because I did end up going the marriage route for funsies, I know marriage in Stardew is kind of a joke. I do think it's cool that a post-marriage event was added, and your spouse gets their own little hobby room, but that's pretty much it. The only help they give you on the farm is stuff you've probably automated already at that point. And kids are just... man, kids are just nightmares. They're little soulless, spiky-headed beings that never talk, never interact with anything. They just run around like mice and occasionally emote at you. Like, why? Are they for decoration? I don't understand. A lot of my enjoyment with Story of Seasons in particular was the ability to have meals with your family. It gave you a little opt-in repeating event that allowed you to either cook with your family or have your partner cook. And it served as a cute family cutscene where you could get a little bit more interaction with your family. Stardew doesn't have anything remotely like this involving children. Even the games that didn't have this particular feature had child-centered events, birthday celebrations, Valentine's Days, all sorts of stuff that made it a little bit more involved when you had a partner or kids. All Stardew does is add a few more pixels to your house, really. To be fair though, like I said, these are just some things I think would add to the experience. Stardew is a very fun game that I've played for well over 200 hours altogether, and its other features are well made and impressive for a single developer. It's addictive, even without these imaginary additions. Anyway, those were my thoughts. Please do let me know if you agree, disagree, have anything to add on. Maybe I missed something in Stardew that would change my opinion, or maybe you have your own gripes with things I compared it to today. Either way, discussion is highly encouraged. If you enjoyed yourself here today, please consider liking and subscribing, and have a great day.